has a hypothesis about a word sum for photographer? Marissa? And once you see what she writes, if you have something different, you have a different hypothesis, I want you to volunteer to come and write yours as well. Oh, interesting. So let me hear what you think about these three possibilities. Do you have any evidence that you think would support one, or that maybe you have questions about what's something that's up there? Frankie?
I think the second one is right because you can add photographic or photograph. You can take off the ER.
Okay, so you're looking here, and actually both of these would have that at the end. You're thinking that these make more sense to you than this one because you're thinking you could have a different suffix. And if you could remove and exchange the suffix for a different suffix, then that would make sense that this was a base. Okay, and what was the example you just gave?
Photographic or something?
Photographic. So what suffix could we put on here instead of an ER?
I see.
I see. Excellent. Excellent. Anybody else have to say anything to say about exactly what Frankie just said? Can you add on to what he just said? Not something different, but what he just said. Misty?
You could not add a suffix at all and have it be photograph.
Oh, you absolutely could. That's really sharp noticing. We don't need a suffix at all. We know that we could have a word end like photograph. We know what a photograph is. What is a photograph? I'm assuming you know what a photograph is. Maybe that's the question we should start with. Who can explain what a photograph is? Sawyer?
It's like a picture taken by light.
Okay. We use light in the process, don't we? How do we use light in the process?
Well, like in the word photosynthesis,
Mm-hmm.
it uses light to make food and energy for the plant.
Absolutely. It's putting it all together with light. I'm glad you remembered that. Do you know how a camera, regular camera, I suppose we could call them old-fashioned, not a phone, but a regular camera, do you know how that would use light in the process? Shy?
When you press the button, the camera takes in the light.
It does. How does it take in the light?
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I know, but I don't know how to put it into words.
Okay. Have you ever watched somebody take a picture? They got the camera ready. They click it, and what happens when they click it?
The lens closes and then
It's a shutter, and the shutter opens quick and shuts. Lets in the light, and that's it. And it shuts it back out. The longer you leave that shutter open, you get a different kind of a picture, right? The old time pictures, have you ever seen really old pictures from the 1800s where the people are kind of blurry? And you're wondering why they're just a blur? It's because the shutter was left open a really long time and the people moved. So the faster the shutter, the more you can stop time, actually. Adriana?
I think the middle one's right because photograph is a compound word.
Okay, so you're saying this is a base and this is a base, compound word, and this is a suffix. Okay, what are some other thoughts about that?
I think the first one's wrong.
We've got two, this one in this respect, this one and this one are the same if you look at that side of the word sum. So we got two people that thought maybe that O is a connecting vowel. How could we prove whether the O is a connecting vowel or whether it's part of this? What kind of proof could we offer?
The O is a connecting vowel.
If it is a connecting vowel in this word, then what do we have to find in order to prove that?
Where P-H-O-T comes from.
Yeah, that would really be helpful if we knew where that P-H-O-T came from. That's something else we could do.
Like if you can add any other words to photo.
Right. Could we add something behind here that didn't have an O?
Yeah.
Could we take this base and add something else behind it that wasn't an O?
No.
Yes?
I mean, like, isn't photo a free base?
Oh, what an excellent point. So use it in a sentence for me.
I took a photo.
I took a photo. Okay. It actually, we use it and it has become a word on its own, free base, but it comes from, guess what?
Photograph.
Photograph. It's a clip of photograph. We use auto as a word on its own, but really it's a clip of automobile, right? And we use flu as a word on its own, but it's really a clip of influenza, right? The more you're learning, the more you're seeing all those kinds of things that maybe didn't pop up before. So photo has become a free base. But as analyzers, we're trying to see if really we're looking at a bound base and a connecting vowel, or are we looking at a free base? And the only way to know is if we can find something else besides an O that might follow PHOT. Who's going to volunteer to go grab a red dictionary and see if there's something there? Danny, you want to do that? While he's doing that, because otherwise I think I like what I'm hearing about this and this. Do you remember what the denotation of GRAPH is? What does that have to do with GRAPH? Callie?
Writing.
Yes, writing. And what is PHOT? I think you said it before.
Light.
Light.
Writing with light.
It is writing with light. If you think of a camera that lets in light and creates the image, that's writing with light in a way. Yeah.
So, then how do they make videos? Like, in a...
Well, the technology has changed since the word was created to represent what was happening.
Also,
Yep.
the connecting vault, I'm kind of going back and forth with photo, and because graph is from Greek, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if
Is there any evidence that this one is from Greek?
Isn't like PH from like Greek?
Yeah, it's from the Greek letter. So this also is a Greek base. Nicely done. Did you find a word?
photic to do with light.
Photic. And how is photic? Now what would the word sum for photic be?
PHOT plus IC.
Right. He said PHOT, IC.
And where's the O? Did we add a?
There,
Did we add an O?
that is our
Wait, so
evidence that
that's-
this is a connecting vowel.
Boom.
If we don't have to have it, then it's a connecting vowel, right? Excellent. But now I want you to look at this. What do we got here? We have a single consonant with a single vowel in front of it, and we're adding a vowel suffix. What is likely to happen? Cora?
You would add an extra T.
Right. We would force doubling here. But we know how to spell photic. There's not two T's in there. So what do we have to put here to prevent that doubling from happening?
An E.
Yeah, we have to have that E. We have to have that potential E. And in this case, what happens when we're putting this together?
Cross out the E, put the O.
Right. Now, we wouldn't have maybe known that, so we did have to look a little further. Nothing wrong with that, is there?